At 1300 hours local time, the U.S. military was tracking a narco submarine that didn't know it was already caught 400 miles northeast of the Galapagos Islands. In about 4 hours, this sub would reach shipping lanes where it could vanish among 1,000 legitimate contacts. But the crew of this circling HC-130J didn't know yet that this spectacular narco sub had one trick up its sleeve that would turn a routine interdiction into a three-way standoff at sea. The radar operator stared at his screen, watching a contact that barely existed. 3 sweeps visible, 9 sweeps gone, like somebody flicking a light switch on and off in another room. This contact gave back almost nothing, just occasional flickers when waves exposed metal outboards on what had to be a fiberglass hull. 8 knots told the whole story. Nobody legitimate moved that slow this far from anywhere. 8 knots meant 3 tons of contraband riding low enough to wash the deck with every swell. The bearing matched known smuggling routes running from Colombia to Mexico, where product changed hands and prices tripled. No fishing grounds for 200 miles, no shipping lanes, no reason to be here, except the obvious one. The tactical coordinators switched to thermal imaging and the ghost track became solid. These low-profile vessels rode with 18 inches above water, painted gray-blue to match the ocean, invisible beyond 500 meters to anything except the technology now staring down from 5 miles up. But spotting it was the easy part. Actually getting to it was a whole other story. The problem was simple mathematics. The closest Coast Guard ship, the Seneca, could make 20 knots if her turbines didn't complain. She was 50 miles away, 2.5 hours to intercept at flank speed, its fastest speed available. The smugglers would reach congested waters in 4 at this rate, the kind of math that meant mission failure unless you had something that flew instead of sailed. Seneca's flight deck transformed into controlled chaos the moment the intercept data arrived. The helicopter crew got their scramble within minutes and pre-flight checks cut in half, weapons loaded while rotors were still tied down.
October 21st, 2025. Under the calm Caribbean night, an American-flagged cargo ship, silently cutting through the waves, carrying $4.8 billion worth of microchips, the beating heart of the global industry, was torn apart. 30 speedboats with over 180 heavily armed pirates charged in at 40 knots. RPG-7 launchers, DSHK heavy machine guns, FN/FAL rifles. Sparks of war blazed across the sea. They didn't come to negotiate. They came to seize the ship and sell the chips on the black market for over $6 billion. But they were wrong. They forgot to look up, where the American flag was flying. The United States launched Operation Iron Veil, a coordinated assault by sea, air, and stealth. Deployed USS Archer DDG-109 with 32 LRASM missiles. USS Missouri, a Virginia-class submarine, moved in to seal off all escape routes within a 15 nautical mile radius. Overhead, 6 aircraft took flight. 2 AH-1Z Viper attack helicopters and 4 MV-22B Osprey tiltrotors, carrying 32 pilots and 48 Marines. Their mission? To annihilate the entire pirate stronghold. Will hundreds of pirates seize a multi-billion-dollar ship in a desperate gamble, or pay the ultimate price when confronted by the full force of the United States? Let's find out. 2:10 a.m., October 21st, 2025. 240 nautical miles northeast of La Guaira, Venezuela. The Caribbean night was like a sheet of black glass, and cutting through it was the MV Argentum, a U.S.-flagged cargo vessel carrying $4.8 billion worth of semiconductor chips, enough to power over 600 million smartphones, 45 million vehicles, or the entire U.S. F-35 production line for 3 years. Inside the ship's steel containers were millions of wafers bound for chip plants in Arizona and the Pentagon's defense network. The ship moved at just 16 knots, unaware that eyes were watching from beyond the radar horizon. At 2:12 a.m., the radar officer noticed something strange. 12 small echoes, moving fast. Within minutes, they multiplied to 18, then 24. The screen flooded with fast boats closing in at nearly 40 knots. At first, the crew thought they were fishermen, but the ship's thermal scope told another story. Dozens of blazing hot metal shapes, RPG launchers, heavy guns, red-hot